My name is Jared, and I'm here with James.
And my name is James, and I'm here with Jared.
And we're talking about real life, real struggles, and real questions. What are we talking about today, James?
Today, we get to talk about community and just like the thrill of community and how awkward and struggling and beautiful community is because
Yeah.
people are difficult, but necessary.
They are. Community, yeah, it's this thing that we all need to flourish and thrive and survive. I was reading a stat this morning that among the people that are happiest in life, I think 70% of them had a really strong community, a really strong group of
Interesting.
people that was around them, that loved them and supported them. And when I say support, I don't just mean, everything you do is awesome, James, but like spoke truth and love and life into their life, which I think is a cool, fun fact that those kind of people are the happiest in life.
So, Jared, you have been passionate about this topic for, I think, since I've known you,
Yeah.
since early high school.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so passionate about this? Like, what about this really intrigues you and compels you?
I think for me, I've always tried to find a place that I belonged. And for so many years, I struggled to find a place that I belonged. And I remember in elementary school and middle school, just like scraping and crawling and trying to find that place and feeling like I didn't have a place. And when I finally started to find a place where I belonged, I didn't feel like I needed to prove myself anymore. And I felt like this is what life is about. And when I really started following Jesus, one of the first things that he did is he put me in a thriving relationship with the community around me. And it was so life giving to me. And I was like, I want to see this in the lives of those around me. And so that's one of the reasons it's so big in my life is it transformed my experience. And I want to see it transform other people's experiences.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew all that. I mean, I knew that like you were active part of this youth ministry and
Mhm.
active part of school and stuff, but like that was like a point of conversion and like God's goodness
Mhm.
towards you is to put you in community.
Yeah.
And then through the years, I imagine you've been parts of a couple of different communities that have
Yeah.
just like both been challenging and brought out the best of you.
Yeah.
How has that gone down?
Yeah. And when I first graduated from high school, it was weird because in high school, I was connected to a lot of people. And so I was always around a lot of people. And then I went into college age and I had like four main friends, which was a big transformation. And at first I was like, I don't have any friends at all. And I was like, this sucks. And then shortly after, I realized the friends that I have mean so much to me that these friendships matter more than anything. And then I started to have more friendships like that of a deeper level, people that I spent more time with and connected at this deeper level with. And of these friends that I've made out of high school, I've been like a groomsman in four of their weddings
Uh-huh.
because they've become such good friends of mine. And it's like these are the life transformational relationships that I've had.
Were you friends with any of these people in high school?
No.
So like all your closest friends and like would you say like the best community that you have been part of didn't happen till after high school?
Yes.
But you had like great community in high school.
I did have good community in high school. There was still pockets of community where I felt like I needed to prove myself or be someone that I wasn't because I was hanging out with groups that weren't necessarily who I was. And I think in high school, I think in just general, you have to know who you are to find a community that you fit in with.
Mm.
And in high school, I didn't really know who I was all that well. And so I had multiple different communities that I tried to be multiple different people with. And it was kind of straining on me. So when I found a community where I could just be myself, there's so much life in that.
That's tough. I'm still like sorting out like who am I? What am I passionate about?
Yeah.
What am I really want to do? What am I looking for in friendship?
Mhm.
What am I looking for in community? But the seasons that I look at where I was living in really close and thriving community was where like I was known, like fully known.
Mhm.
Where I didn't feel like I had to hide like my either preferences or hide even like the parts of me that I would rather hide from everyone. But I was known and accepted.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that I always struggle with when it comes to community is how risky community is. Because like
Mhm.
if you want close community and you want close friendship, there's this element of risk of like you have to let yourself be known.
Yep.
And if you let yourself be known, then you can let yourself or you run the risk of then being hurt.
Yep.
And so there have been other seasons of my life, perhaps the bulk of my life, where I've said like the risk isn't worth it.
Hmm.
And so I've kept my cards very close to my chest and not really let myself be known by others.
Mm.
Which I know you can't go up to someone and like divulge your deepest darkest secrets and be like, that's community. Like people will think you are crazy, and you kind of are.
Yeah.
But it is this, like, as friendship grows, like it continues to take steps.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many of us, and maybe it's just me, who see myself sometimes limiting myself and the kind of community that I can handle because I don't want to run the risk of being known and being hurt or judged or even like kicked out or looked down upon.
Yeah. Which is so difficult because community, when we see it in the biblical sense, is this intimate thing. In Acts 2, it says, this is the church as it was built, community as it was built. They devoted themselves to the breaking of the bread, to the fellowship, to the apostles' teaching and the prayer. And the word fellowship, this word they devoted themselves to is koinonia. And koinonia is the same word that's used in marriage relationships in the Bible. And so this community that we're striving after is an intimate, tight relationship. Koinonia is not, I went bowling with them last weekend and it was awesome. There is
You don't like our bowling events?
but I do like them. I think they're fun. But it's this covenant relationship, meaning
Yeah.
there is a contract and a relationship here, which is kind of a big deal that
It's a
you would
huge
enter
deal.
into this. And when we are inviting people into that with us, I think there has to be such a level of grace and understanding, like especially on like a Sunday night. Like if we are to say we want to foster community, koinonia on a Sunday night at HSM, how do you think we welcome people into that? Or better yet, how do you think we not welcome people into that?
I was going to say, this is the question that I would submit myself to you and your leadership on, because I think you do this so well. I think one of the things that we've seen a little bit is when someone is gone for a while and then like comes back to church, how we greet that person, how we welcome them in is really important. Of like, hey, we're glad you're here,
Mhm.
versus where have you been? I haven't seen you for 6 months.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, well, you're not going to see me for another 6 more months because you're kind of a tool. Like
Well, and it's not that you're a tool. It's just you're kind of rude. Like it's
yeah,
not,
yeah, some people say rule, some people say tool. It's a rude. It's close. Yes, you're just kind of rude.
Yeah.
Which is hard because I don't want to be that vulnerable. I don't want to run the risk of being hurt
Mhm.
if there's already offense when we've just exchanged pleasantries and said hi.
Mhm.
Like if that's how you treat me and saying hi, like I'm not opening up anything more about me to that person. It's not worth
Yeah.
the risk.
Because if you're in a covenant relationship with someone and you're trying to invite them into that, there needs to be trust built. And you're not building trust by saying, where you been? You're building disconnect and frustration and hurt. And so the question we should be asking ourselves as we welcome people into community is, how could I make them feel loved and trusted?
How do you do that? Because you're really good at it.
One of the things I value is just like caring for people and seeing where people are at. So like, hey, like where have you been? Like or not like where have you been, but like what's been going on in your life? Like how have you been? What have you been going what have you been doing? How has the sports been? I heard that you're on the track team. Did you do good at your last meet? How did that go? Just curiosity about their life is huge. If you're curious about my life, I want to connect with you. And then if I follow up with you on that curiosity, there's even more connection. And then just developing that consistency in someone's life. I've seen more than anything, the relationships in my life that have flourished the most are the ones that I'm consistently reaching out to and consistently caring for.
Mm.
And so if you can consistently be curious and consistently be loving in someone's life, it develops this trust and care and love with them, I think.
No, I agree. And I'm thinking about it in my own life and own friendships. And I think one of my favorite questions that when I'm asked or when I ask others, I think it builds trust, but not in a weird like trust exercise-y way. But one of my favorite questions has just been like, hey, how's your heart recently? Like, how's your heart in the last month? Like, and it kind of invites like, hey, where are you at with the Lord and what's happening? Which this can't be for a complete stranger, but
Mhm.
it is this. I want to know more than just surface level stuff. Like, would you trust me with what's
Mhm.
happening at like a heart level in you? And so oftentimes it's like, man, my heart has been bitter or frustrated, or like, man, I'm just distanced from the Lord. And to enter into that and to care for others, and knowing where their heart is at, not just, kind of some of these other surface level things.
And
It's a wonderful thing.
I think that's such a cool thing that you don't even have to just do with people that you're welcoming into your community. It's something that you've done with me and that you've done with other people in our community. That if you connect with people on how they're doing in our community, for us in our youth group,
Mhm.
it builds this continual trust and this continual relationship. And I think for us, as we are in this community that we call HSM, it's not just for welcoming new people, it's for us experiencing life and joy and belonging together. And so if you come to HSM every week and you don't feel like you belong, like I would love to talk with you and figure out like why is that? Or if you come to HSM and you do feel like you belong, man, I would love to see you foster that in the lives of other people as well. Like, how do I invite people into that? This is a community that we're trying to build and forge, and it's not perfect.
Oh,
Because
so
that's one of the
yeah.
things is like community, koinonia. I use the analogy of marriage. We're both married. Marriage is not perfect.
No.
And
And it takes
we're,
continual effort.
and it takes continual effort. Relationships and community are not perfect, and they take continual effort.
Mm.
And so no matter what community you're a part of, let's enter into this with effort together.
Yeah. And it's worth the
Mhm.
work. Our
It is.
community is worth the work.
Yeah.
And so, man, we love these conversations. We love these topics. We love that you brought this up. And so we'll keep talking about it. This conversation on community is not one that's covered in a few minutes and then done.
Yeah.
But we'll continue chatting about it. So cool.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us.